When I was starting out as a lawyer, I represented a few of the innocent people who were freed by DNA. I mean, they were disturbing cases to work on. It was a real uphill battle for these people because our system is so reluctant to unsettle a final judgment of a conviction. And so there are other remarkable cases where there's evidence pointing directly to a third party. There is suppressed evidence that confessions were contaminated, and courts disregarded it, at least until the DNA tests were done, and sometimes even after the DNA tests were done. There's a Louisiana case where the defendant's brother comes in. He looks more like the description of the perpetrator than his brother does, although they obviously look somewhat alike. He confesses in detail to doing the crime. The federal habeas judge is so impressed that he grants habeas and says, the convict was innocent, the brother did it. The statute of limitations hadn't passed yet, the brother could be charged. But the Court of Appeals reverses, and years later DNA shows that yes, the brother did it. Another high-profile case in Virginia is the case of Earl Washington, where even though DNA tests were done in 1993, he's not fully exonerated until after 2000, in part because no one could wrap their minds around the possibility that his confession was contaminated and that he had simply just repeated what officers told him to say. Some states don't have many DNA exonerations because they simply didn't preserve biological evidence from crime scenes. Some states may have more exonerations because they had unusually active innocence projects early on. A few of these people had DNA at trial that showed their innocence, and they still got convicted, which is also terrifying. Part of the problem is that when mistakes happen, there's no accountability. Particularly with cases where it's a wrongful conviction and someone was in prison for 15 years, the same defense lawyers aren't around, the judges aren't around, the prosecutors may not be around, and there's no mechanism for holding anyone accountable.